So last week I mentioned that I'm now doing a little bit of work with Mean Mother, specifically going to be reviewing and trying out some of their recovery equipment. And this morning I'm doing a little something to jazz up the old 60 series and support the guys at Mean Mother. I've got a window banner that's been made up by Jeff and the team at Exclusive Wraps. So I'm heading over to see them right now, where we're going to put that on the windscreen of the old 60 series. Now, to give you a little bit of background on the 60 series and how all this came about, I had reached a point, we had a RAV4, which was, you know, a great little family car, good to get everybody around, but not ideal for off-road, even though it did actually have four-wheel drive, would you believe it? Ground clearance was your biggest issue. I actually even took it to Moreton Island, but did take a couple of extra friends, and they were actually able to snatch me out, because again, it managed the trails pretty well, but the ground clearance just killed you. So it beached itself a few times, but had a lot of fun doing it. So I was on the hunt for a proper four-wheel drive. Thought I'd get myself a nice grown-up vehicle, and I went and tried all the things that you'd try. I went and drove the new Prado, drove the new Landcruiser, drove the new Discovery. So I went and sort of tried them all. I was looking at a, you know, proper off-roader, you know, not necessarily something that's got 20-inch wheels and designed to do the school run. I wanted something that, you know, had low range and all the good things. And my only comment was that they sort of did it all a little bit too well. The cars didn't really offer you a heap of character, which I guess is probably what you want in a modern car. You just want them to behave. But for me, it didn't hit the mark. So I started looking at what else I could get, and you know, there's obviously your Nissan Patrols and old Landcruisers, and I was really drawn to the 60 series. I've always loved that boxy shape, and so I started looking at all these different Landcruisers, and the thing I discovered when you go and look at old Landcruisers was rust. So you'd go and check them out, looked all right, you'd look under the carpets and there'd be a tennis ball sized hole in the floor, and rust in the doors and rust in the roof and just rust everywhere, because again, these cars are 30 something years old, and you know, they've all been driven and enjoyed. And that's when I spotted this one. It was a car on the Gold Coast. It had been bought by a Japanese consortium in the 80s. They'd had it for 1 year, and then this lovely couple had bought it, and they travelled Australia in it. So the car was packed with red dirt, so everywhere you looked there was red dirt. I swapped the fuel tank, put a long range in this, and when we took out the original fuel tank, it was like jammed thick, full of Central Australia. This car ended up being sort of everything I'd hoped for. It's a 1988 with the twin rectangular headlights. It was their first attempt at making, I guess, a more upmarket. All the Landcruisers prior to that had been pretty agricultural, and don't get me wrong, this is still a very agricultural vehicle, but it's got a few creature comforts in it. So it's sort of got, you know, nice interior, electric windows. It's got a fridge between the front seats that you can fit about 12 Pasitos in there, which is pretty handy. I'm getting a call from the race team. Better take that. Blowout, run away. Back in the car. So here at Exclusive Wraps. This is pretty cool. So Jeff and the team at Exclusive Wraps have just sorted this out for me. What a bunch of legends. Done a terrific job on it. That looks awesome. Can't wait to get all the accessories on the car.